Not every day you lose the career passing yards leader, a 13-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl MVP, but on Sunday, January 17th, just a few months ago, that is exactly what happened to the New Orleans Saints. Prior to Drew Brees and Sean Payton's arrival in 2006, the Saints had just 7 winning seasons in their 38 years of existence. But then the duo took the city of New Orleans to new places and offensive football to new heights. Over the 14 years since, Brees has practically made the record book his autobiography, and Payton has catered the offense to his strengths by surrounding him with the best possible talent while defining and redefining his own philosophy to make it all about Drew. The team lived and breathed through him, and even the thought of losing him was almost suffocating. But now, that is the Saints' reality. Brees' departure brings the team to the dire crossroad they've been dreading for the last decade. The question of will they fall back into their ways pre-Brees or excel post-Brees needs to be answered, and the quarterback position is their gateway to future success. But there isn't one clear, definitive answer as to who that should be. The Saints have both Taysom Hill and Jameis Winston waiting in the wings. Between the two, Sean Payton's philosophy lies in the balance with a sea of possibilities swirling around him. Taysom and Jameis are completely different in everything they do, and the decision for which of them will take over will set the Saints and Payton on a new, uncharted course heading into the future. Before, everything filtered through Brees. Payton's philosophy started and ended with him in mind. But now he has to decide who is his guy and how much of the philosophy will filter through him. First up is Taysom, who's been with the team longer and has actually started games at quarterback for them, but has also been used as a wide receiver, running back, and gunner on punt team, plus he's 30 years old. Or should it be Jameis, who is a legit drop-back style quarterback who passed for 5,000 yards and 33 touchdowns the last time we saw him in 2019, but also threw 30 picks that year and only has 12 attempts for the Saints thus far. It is truly a massive decision that'll dictate whether the Saints remain a playoff caliber team or will set them back into their horrible losing ways. Before we dive deeper into both, I want to give a huge thank you to this week's sponsor, who is once again my friends at Underdog Fantasy. They still have massive payouts for their best ball tournaments, and they are my favorite fantasy football app, hands down. I have legit been using Underdog's app all offseason to draft all my guys in best ball drafts. Best Ball takes your best lineup every week and automatically puts the top scores in, so there's no bench, no waiver wire, no hassle. Underdog does all the work. And why they're really special, they're offering you a free shot at $1 million. They recently launched their biggest fantasy football tournament ever with $3.5 million in prizes, and first place takes home that $1 million. If you sign up now with my coupon code Rollins25, you get $25 free, which is exactly how much the entry fee is for the tournament. Just head over to UnderdogFantasy.com or download their super easy to use app, and once again, use my code Rollins25 for your free shot at $1 million. Now, back to the Saints. Taysom does appear to be winning the battle as of the first week in the preseason, and there are a lot of reasons why he should be, but also a lot of reasons why he should not. He's been with the Saints for much longer, and as I said, he has been used as a running back receiver. He's scored 16 touchdowns in the last 2 years. But when Brees went down with an injury this past season, Taysom stepped in at his true position and led the Saints to a 3-1 record as a quarterback. Although they scored more than 24 points only once, and the teams they beat had a combined winning percentage of just 27%, he actually impressed in several areas. He completed a league-leading 73% of his passes and had 7.7 yards per attempt, plus a 99 QB rating. He showed he was able to cycle through multiple reads, play from the pocket without immediately scrambling, display decent accuracy in the underneath to intermediate areas of the field. Really, he didn't need things as scripted as we might have thought. The dagger concept is a great example to illustrate where some of his strengths as a passer are, but also some of the ways he could limit the Saints' offense. Dagger is a clear-out route from an inside receiver, which can be a seam, or sometimes a deep over like we'll see in a bit, and that's paired with a dig route or dagger route behind it. It's good against most zone coverages, it's great against man coverage, and is often used with play action. It's on the quarterback to throw the in-breaking dagger route between the second and third levels of coverage, And Hill proves that even with 2 linebackers in the area and 1 in the window of the dig the moment he releases, he can anticipate open space and execute true dropback style concepts. When he took over, the Saints dialed up play action 33% of the time, which was 7th most, drastically different than Brees' 18%, which was 41st. These hard play fakes helped create that space between the backers and safeties, and Taysom proved he can take advantage. Not every quarterback is able to have the proper timing, arm strength, and accuracy to consistently hit an intermediate concept like dagger, but the problem is, he wasn't willing to push the ball much deeper than that. On throws of 20+ yards, which is just a little further than where dagger is thrown, Taysom's deep attempt percentage was dead last in the league. Here is a perfect example of how his aversion to throwing deep won't hurt the Saints, but could limit them moving forward. They're running the cross-country dagger concept tagged with a big post alert on the outside. Dagger is the concept, but if Taysom sees his alert post one-on-one with a vacant middle of the field, he can ignore the dagger concept and throw the big post. The read for cross-country dagger goes from deep over to dagger, with Taysom reading the middle of the field safety. The over will convert his route flatter when he sees it's 1 high, so if he stays deep, or I guess in the middle for the dagger route, Taysom can throw the over. But when the safety cuts the over, it's kinda a metaphor for Taysom as a quarterback. He could attack downfield and hit the bigger play with the alert post, or stay more so on script and hit the dagger route. He makes a great throw, and is always willing to hang in the pocket even when he's about to get smashed, but there are certainly aspects of his game that are more limited, at least as a true quarterback, since he just hasn't played the position very much throughout his NFL career. The more defenses saw the Taysom version of the offense, the more they game planned and took away dagger, so he would need to become more comfortable with a wider breadth of concepts if Payton gives him the keys. There are aspects of the Saints offense they had to dumb down a bit since he can't really get to his 3rd and 4th reads consistently like Brees could, and the Saints had to run a lot of mirrored concepts, screens and swing passes, and sprint outs, which limit the potential of the offense. He also gets sacked at one of the highest rates in the league and fumbles the ball quite frequently, but still, the Saints won 3 of 4 when he started, and despite him not really pushing the ball downfield too much, he can create more efficiency from the position as a true runner and provide a nice floor for the offense with his legs, kinda in the same way Brees used the quick passing game. On the other hand, we have Jameis Winston, who after being released by the Bucs last season barely played in his first year with the Saints and appears, at least right now, to be losing the QB battle. Jameis is almost all of the things Taysom isn't. He is a prototypical quarterback with a gunslinger mentality who never met a throw he didn't like or wasn't going to try and make. He is going to push the ball down the field at all costs and can put up prolific passing numbers. He is one of 8 humans ever to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. By the way, Brees did it 5 times, and he can operate the offense cerebrally similar to Brees. But there are issues with him too. If we look at combined interceptions and fumbles since 2015, Jameis had 138, whereas nobody else had more than 110. As his old coach Bruce Arians said, there is so much good and so much outright terrible, and that pretty much sums it up. But Jameis is able to do all the little nuanced parts of the quarterback position that made Brees and the Saints offense so deadly. On a 3rd and 4, the Bucs come out in an empty formation, and Jameis sees linebacker Thomas Davis start to show as a potential extra blitz threat, so he fakes the snap count, then resets the protection to the left, and audibles to a fade option where if Davis blitzes, the Bucs will have sound protection and Adam Humphries one-on-one with the safety. But as that safety begins to back out, Jameis can now anticipate some kind of too-high look with Humphries running the option against Davis, which is a good matchup. However, Humphrey is on the boundary side of the field, meaning on the shorter side, the same side of the hash marks, so Jameis is alerted to the possibility of trap coverage, where the corner will read Humphries, and if he's out within 5 yards, he'll trap the throw, and the safety would fly over the top for the vertical. So at the snap, Jameis peeps him immediately, but sees he's reading his receiver and not Humphries, so now he knows it's one-on-one. But even so, since it's to the boundary side, he still has to create a little bit more room. We can see what he does better from the end zone angle, where he first reads the corner outside, then to move Davis to create more space for Humphries, he looks inside, and look at the effect it has on Davis. All those little details and nuances of the position are areas where Jameis can execute many different things in just one play, where Taysom just doesn't have the same ability and experience to do so. Jameis can get to his third and fourth read pretty consistently and hit the backside digs that Taysom can't, but at the same time, Taysom isn't going to make the absolute bonehead mistakes Jameis will, and he will, just trying to make plays when they're not there. There are aspects in both Jameis and Taysom's game that relate to Brees' game, and Payton has to choose which kind of character he wants to move forward with and build his new philosophy around. Does Payton want Taysom, who provides the lower ceiling, higher efficiency aspects of Brees' game where he can do enough through the air and consistently pick up 5-yard chunks with his legs? Or does Payton want Jameis, who can consistently get you into the right play with his mind and then create explosive plays down the field like Brees did in his prime, but then at times create crushing turnovers that can ruin entire games? It's also important to quickly note that the Saints supporting cast is the weakest it's been in years, especially with Michael Thomas injured. So without even an average receiving core, Payton has to ask himself if this new philosophy is pedal to the metal with Jameis carrying lesser talent and creating downfield, or chipping away with Taysom and relying more on the defense, managing the game, while probably being a little more consistent. In my opinion, the answer is Jameis Winston. Payton knows he's in a division with Brady and the Bucs, and you have to be a great team to beat them and the rest of the NFL. He and Brees were a legendary duo, but only made it to one Super Bowl in their entire tenure, which they of course won, but to me the answer is clear. You aren't going to win anything in this league just being good. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of times when Jameis has fallen far, far below that threshold, but he's also flashed the potential to be above just good, the potential to be firmly within the top 10 in the league. I believe his self-destructive tendencies can be coached out of him, and now he has one of the best coaches ever to do it. A long time ago, back in 2006, Sean Payton took a chance on a young quarterback in the middle of his career and committed his entire philosophy to him. As the Saints begin a new chapter after Drew Brees, as a wise man once said, no risk it, no biscuit.